See, with everything inspected where we want it to be, we had to take it apart one more time because now we're at the final stage.
It is a dial with an SUV going downhill. That is your downhill assist.
Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Defiant Jeep. Today coming to you from the wonderful confines of my garage one more time. And today I want to show you a neat little something here. Now it is not something super difficult or whatnot, you know, but it may be a regular something every couple of years. And we're going to talk about bushings, the factory rubber type that normally after so much time and wear, exposure to the elements, they start to become more dense, they become brittle, start to come apart. You know, it's rubber. You know, the law of physics is going to take place. And today we're going to go ahead and attempt that. I actually have a loose bushing to what is a control arm. Here we go. This one right here. Let me show it to you real quick. Now this bushing, it's just a control arm bushing. It's a little bit larger than the factory type because this actually goes or is a replacement for the rough country control arms, which most of you know I'm using. And there's nothing wrong with the kit, but the rubber bushings are the worst element. And so I am going to attempt to replace this rubber bushing with a polyurethane. Now, let me show you something real quick. Let me put this down for a second. Now, I went ahead and I ordered the energy suspension polyurethane bushings for control arms. But these don't work. Reason being is when Energy Suspension made these, they are dimensionally the size for factory control arms, not aftermarket. So I started, you know, digging around. Let me see what's going on here. Taking measurements after measurements and more research. And what I had found closest to it is this flange bushing, which is pretty much the same shape and design, as you can tell. Aside of this has got a particular cut in the back because this one is what Energy Suspension calls their Hyperflex. And it's probably got to do with this extra tapered cutout over here for flexure purposes versus this one is just a straight through hole. I don't believe that's going to make or break a big old difference since I'm not an aggressive rock crawler. I am more into the overlanding, camping, little bit of rocks. I don't think I need a flex like somebody at King of the Hammers or nothing like that. So we're going to give this a go, or at least try it out. Now, I did my best to go ahead and measure using various tools like a tape measure or one of those sliding calipers. This is the largest one I found at 2 inches in the outer diameter here. Now, the trick to these, as most won't tell you, you have to use the existing metal shell of the bushing. Let me go ahead and put this down for a second. And I'll put this one over here. And what I mean by that is, you're going to go ahead and push out this rubber bushing, but this metal shell, you have to keep it because you're going to put the polyurethane inside here on both sides because the poly is a 2-piece versus this 1-piece rubber. So you're going to slide one in the back, one on the other side. I don't know, it's front or back, left or right. Don't make a difference. Either way, it's going to get pressed in the control arm. So that's what we're going to attempt to do, to go ahead and just push this out. This thing is brand spanking new. It really breaks my heart to, for lack of better expressions, destroy it. But you know, this is what I want to do. I want to get out of the rubber ones. I want to put in the polys, and let's see if they work. So let me get some of this garbage out of my way. My goodness, go there, and yeah, that's good enough for government work. All right, so normally I have several different presses that I use for tools. Now, for the sake of protecting my hands and keeping myself a little bit clean, I do want to put on my gloves. Now I have this wonderful set right here, which is pretty much an all-threaded rod. Let me show that to you. Just an all-threaded rod with, of course, compressing, expanding nuts. I guess I don't know what you want to call them, but these are wonderful because if you take a look at these right here, it actually has 2 races and a ball bearing cage right in the center for wonderful motion. This thing is like flawless. It's beautiful. just like any other tool. Just keep it nice and lubed, and it'll work forever. But here's a problem I came across, and I think this is it. Anyways, I haven't really gauged at it, but you know, now that I am looking at it, I can go about it in another direction. I wanted to use this one here, and I don't know if you can see that. This is actually bent. You might actually see the bend right there, right around here. And I'm trying to find a replacement rod for this. The nuts are fine, the bearings are wonderful. It's this thing that's bent right here. Hopefully this is not the size that I need to use. Can't find it, super hard. I went to Ace Hardware, I went to Home Depot. Don't bother with Lowe's. If Home Depot don't got it, Lowe's ain't got it. My next venture is I'm either gonna go to Granger or one of those machine places that specializes in all thread bolts. But let's make sure I got the right size first. Let's go ahead and try, and it is actually a little loose there. If I go to the next biggest one, ooh, that's actually a nice fit. This might actually work for me. Cool. We're gonna go ahead and give that a whirl. But aside of using this tool set right here, most of you guys have a ball joint press, and this will give you the same result, just a different way of working the device. But you can press either with this ball joint press or that other press kit right there. But you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and use the other one, even though it is a hand tool. It'll make me feel a little safer because at least I'm taking my time with it. I'm not gonna like manhandle it. But let me get prepped on that. Let me get the right tools. If I was gonna use this ball joint press still by hand, this right here is a 22 millimeter, so I could just throw a socket on there and a big old 1/2-inch wrench and just go to town as I hold the other side. But let me find the right wrench for that nut right there. See if I can get it done by hand using that tool. If that fails, then I'll resort to the ball joint press. But yeah, let me put this down. Let me do that. Let me find the right size wrenches for these nuts. And I'm gonna clean up this area right here, and then we're gonna get started. Okay, we're about ready to get started here. Now, as I took these nuts over here, or any one of them because they're all the same size, I don't have a socket or an actual combination wrench of any kind, or a box end of that size. So I'm gonna go a little bit more old school, and I'm just gonna use 2 crescent wrenches to slowly work them in. And I'm pretty comfortable with that. I'm doing everything by hand. I'm not gonna be using any power tools or any pneumatic tools. You know, I'm not using anything that requires a battery or air. So I'm just gonna slowly go at it. And what I'm gonna do from this particular kit, with the rod that I had selected, that fits perfectly in the whole center hole over here where the chassis bolt's supposed to go to. Using that bolt, I have found that I got the 2 right size cups for this. And they're not necessarily cups, they're more like cylinders. But let me show you how this works, just like the ball joint press, if some of you know how to use this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push from one side to receive in the other one. So I selected this smaller one that is gonna fit just, I don't know if you can see that very good, just around enough, or a wide enough diameter to push the bushing out of the shell without interfering with the shell. And then I've selected this larger diameter cylinder that's going to catch right there, where it's going to stay pressed onto the metal but still allow the bushing to push out. So I'm going to go in this direction. Hopefully I can push it out, and if my 2-inch bushing fits in there, I'll be great for business. So let's go ahead and give that a whirl here. So let me get myself all set up, which I pretty much am. I just want to get you a closer view of these things. Let me put that down. Got it. I don't think I need anything else. Let me close this just so I can have a little bit more space. Not this is gonna make a big deal of difference, right? Yeah, whatever. Ha. Okay, cool. Alrighty, let me change my camera angle so I can get you a better shot of what I'm doing. Alrighty, hopefully from this angle it'll work out for you better. I limited space in my garage, so I have to like be mindful of how I set up my equipment. But all right, remember, safety first. Always protect your hands, always protect your eyes. Even though this is not like hard labor, just a little manual, you know, always protect your hands. And if you have the option of getting a set of leather padded gloves like Mechanics brand or anything else. I'm not pushing any brands, but something with a nice leather pad on it. And don't get me wrong, I've bought gloves from Harbor Freight and Home Depot, and those gloves are just as good. So, you know, I wouldn't worry about the branding of things. All right, so let's go ahead and open this back up. I got my 2 cylinders here. I'm gonna grab my first base right here. I am gonna take, where is it? Here we go. We're gonna do, okay, I got that on there. Let's put this back end on here. It's got a nice recess on here, where this is gonna sit in. And we're gonna put the small cylinder. All right. Then we're gonna put the bushing in the direction that we're gonna push out towards the small cylinder, which is perfect. I love how it's centered. That is the best part. It just centers itself because the bolt is such a perfect fit for the bolt hole in the bushing. It's wonderful. Alrighty, now we are going to take the larger cylinder. We're going to center that, and we're going to take another backing doohickey thingy that holds it in place, and that is what it's going to look like. Okay, and that's actually a nice tight fit right there. Now you can see that it's completely snug, it's all centered, and all I gotta do is twist both of these nuts in the tightening direction, and that should immediately start to press out the bushing. So let's see how well I do. Now keep in mind, I'm not a licensed mechanic of any kind. I don't have any kind of vocational skills like that, but this doesn't seem to be rocket science either. So this one, it's already set for that. So of course I'm right-handed, so I'm going to use my left hand just to hold, and I am going to apply all of my tensions with my right hand. And unfortunately, the only other thing I have is this stupid huge 15-inch crescent wrench, or adjustable wrench. I don't know what you want to call it. So let me set that size up. Alrighty. You know what? Let me see if I can be a little smart about it. Maybe I can twist easier with the smaller one and hold with the big one. Come on now, you're making me look bad on the camera. Let's loosen that up a hair. Put that back in there. Yeah, I gotta invest myself in some smaller wrenches, like these adjustables. I don't mind using this crescent wrench style, but yeah, if I had a smaller one, that would do me right. Or at least the correct size open end wrench. I think we got progress. Okay, so looks like this thing is free. Let's go ahead and unwind it. And I believe we freed the shell. Oh, there it is. Well, I'm a genius. I gotta push this guy out, but that's okay. You know, for the most part, our job is done. And this ain't nothing. The goal was to free up this shell, and that's exactly what we've done. So let me go ahead and oh, here it is. It fits. Is like a hair of play, not too much, but it fits. Okay, that is, let me see what the other end. Okay, so these are typically, they're a 2-piece on either side, and they come with the tube sleeve for the bolt. This should come all together. That looks nice. Just push that in. No, I don't want to ruin the lid of my garbage can. So let me get a rubber mallet, and let's make this guy happen. Wrong drawer. Rubber mallet there. Rubber mallet. Oh, what a wonderful fit, my God. Alrighty, and there you have it. Polyurethane bushing installed on the factory outer shell that fits the rough country lower control arms. This is actually going to be a perfect addition or upgrade to those rubber bushings. Let me go ahead and get myself a little cleaned up over here. Alrighty, folks, that actually wasn't very hard at all. A little bit of muscular manual labor. I'm still trying what I can, you know, with my no training. I'm not licensed, as I mentioned earlier. I'm not a real mechanic. I just do my best to have fun. I love making videos for you guys to learn. I'm learning at the same time, but if I'm able to share that knowledge with you, that's really what feels part of my joy. If you have any comments or anything that you'd like to add, please leave them in the comments below. But I really would like to thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it educational and entertaining. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and click that little bell on YouTube. And of course, join us on all our social platforms. Don't forget to visit www.defiantjeep.com, where you can find all your Jeep performance accessories, camping gear, and other merch. We love to see you on the trail.